This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, everybody. You know what today is. Come on, Browner. Put yourself on the screen. Hey, it's Friday. Oh, it's ready. Why you give me that look, Browner? You know what I'm going to do. You know it's Friday. You know I'm going to go crazy. You know I'm going to have my homage to the original big old rascal himself, Billy Ray, number 54. And so, you know, that's my thing on Fridays. Why you give me that look, dog?
I give you the same look every Friday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I guess I do the same intro every Friday, so you give me the same look every Friday. I can feel that. Today, John Browner in the house. Jason Lawhead filling in for Grande Alejandro. And so we're going to have a great show today. Really looking forward to it. J Law, how we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Shout out to Grande Alejandro. That guy's living his best life, huh? He's always just doing something at some wedding, some little vacation. Always good for him, man.
He's in that part of life, like when your kids, and I know you don't have any, but like when my kids are 12, 13, 14, every weekend it's a bar mitzvah, a bat mitzvah, a quinceañera. It's a, you know, whatever it is, you know, that's that time of life. And Grande's in that like mid-30 time of life where all of his pals and all of his sisters and everybody's getting married.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of family goings-ons and friends. Yeah, exactly. I was there a while ago, I guess.
Jay, I'm in a phase of life where I'm going to weddings too. Only they're second and third weddings.
That's funny.
That's true.
That's funny.
It's true, man. It is. So, hey, guys, lots to get to today. I'm sure both of you basketball junkies want to talk about what happened last night between the Lakers and the Nuggets, and I do too. I know that the Padres this weekend started a series with the Boston Red Sox, and if you've ever been to a game at Petco Park where the Red Sox are in town, I'm going to say this, be ready. The way it used to be was Red Sox fans took over the place and did what Red Sox fans do, which is be some of the most obnoxious sports fans in all of sports. That's just Boston for you. You know, you leave the Boston airport, they remind you Super Bowl trophies, Stanley Cups, NBA championships. So the list goes on, right? If you're at World Series titles, obviously. And so I know the way it used to be where Red Sox fans, they're not here that often, would take over. But I thought things had changed. But then the Dodgers came to town and the Dodger fans took over. So I'm wondering if we're looking at a Red Sox takeover of downtown San Diego this weekend. So I want to get to that. And a lot of other things. PGA Championship this weekend and Eastern Conference Finals. I know you guys want to talk about. All right, so let me just say this. Did you guys talk yesterday? I know I was out yesterday. Did you guys talk a lot yesterday about the announcement for Major League Soccer finally coming to San Diego? Did you talk about this a bunch?
We saved it for the uncensored.
Yeah, we did. Actually, we talked about it a lot. That was like the longest uncensored I was ever a part of. And we talked mainly about that. That's right, Browner. We did. I mean, you know, out of the side of our mouth mostly, but we talked about it.
Right. Well, I'll say this now that it's official. And I know that on Wednesday we were talking about it. I had received a message from somebody on Wednesday morning. Hey, this is all going down tomorrow. Okay, great. Wow. I mean, you know, worst kept secret in town, right? And I'll say this, it's about time that Major League Soccer looks at San Diego, unlike other professional sports leagues. You know, the NHL is not really interested in San Diego, doesn't have a building. The NBA is not interested in San Diego at all because they got two teams up north and San Diego doesn't have a building. So without
two more teams up north.
That's fair too. That's right. 4 teams in the state. Right.
And Phoenix is a stone's throw away.
Right. And Vegas is too. And they'd rather put a team in Vegas than in San Diego, which will eventually happen. And as the league goes on, it'll be Seattle. It'll be Vegas. San Diego's not even on the radar for the NBA. So it's great that Major League Soccer, even with 2 teams in LA, it's great that Major League Soccer looks at San Diego as a ripe market. And all the data says it is a right market because every time there's something going on in soccer in this town, television numbers explode. Not to mention that between the loyal, the indoor soccers and that history, even things like Albion, which is a lower level professional soccer thing that happens here in San Diego. Fellas, there's a lot of soccer. I have a sense, though, that the three of us, unlike Grande, I don't think any of us are watching it.
Nah.
I mean, let's not fake it. I'm not here to fake it. I'm not here to fake it for anybody. Look, am I happy that there will be more big-time pro sports in the city of San Diego? Yes, I am. Am I committed to, can't wait, somebody get me one of those cool taluses that they all wear, one of those cool scarves.
What? Oh,
a talus. That's the Hebrew version of the scarf. You feel me?
No, but I just found out I'm today years old.
Okay. So I'm not here to fake it for anybody. Okay. I've never been to an LAFC game. I've never been to a Galaxy game. I got access to free tickets to the to LAFC through my ESPN life up there in LA. I never go. They won the championship last year and I never go.
Does talus mean scarf in Hebrew?
No, I don't think so. But if you've
then
ever
why don't they just call it a scarf?
Well, because it's more of like a religious sort of robe-ish kind of a thing. A talus.
But it's a scarf.
Depends on what style you're wearing. You feel me?
Depends on what you're accessorizing it with. If you're accessorizing it with like a robe, then it's religious. If you're accessorizing it with a Burberry jacket, then it's a scarf.
Well, I see everybody rocking these MLS San Diego scarves yesterday. And look, here's what I'll say.
I thought they didn't. I thought they were going to have trouble doing that. What happened to all the loyal fans already? Where'd they go? There's already a flood of. There's already a flood of fill in the blank MLS San Diego scarves going around already.
Well, no, I'm saying at the press conference. No, I'm saying the press conference.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody buying them or rocking them. But here's what I would like to say.
If they would have came in right before COVID, those things would have sold like hotcakes. Just people would have worn them as masks and whipped them around the face until
you sell some scarves and some toilet paper at the same time.
Exactly.
For some reason, we all needed that. But here's what I want to say. And I'll compare it to the NFL. When the NFL went to LA, the assumption was you put the NFL logo at the 50-yard line of a field. It doesn't matter if it's at the Coliseum or if it's at a soccer stadium. If it says NFL, everybody will flock to it. Everybody will be all over it, and it will be an instant hit. Well, guess what? I think the NFL found out the hard way. Just because you show up doesn't mean everybody drops what they're doing for you. I mean, would you call the NFL in the first years of the Chargers? Was that a big success? Was that a big hit?
No.
I mean, I don't even know that I'd call the Rams in the early years in the Coliseum. I don't know that I'd call the Rams a monster success or the NFL. I don't know if I'd call it a monster hit right away. Now, the Rams went on to win the Super Bowl, but then the Rams had a fire sale, and the Chargers have never really been successful in LA. So I don't think the NFL has walked into LA and everybody went, "Oh, I'm not a Laker fan or a Dodger fan. I'd rather put my money into the Chargers or the Rams." I don't think it's like that. And I think the same thing is true here in San Diego. Just because San Diego wants more pro sports, it doesn't mean that Major League Soccer shows up and everybody just goes MLS crazy. Now, the soccer fans will, but the sports fans won't. And what you'll have to do, MLS, is you'll have to get guys like me who don't go to pro soccer games, even though I like the game. And you got to get guys like Jason and Browner here because they're not soccer fans at all.
Does it help that Manny Machado is a part owner of the team?
In my opinion, it does not help.
Really?
And in fact, in some ways, kind of turns me off.
That's interesting. I mean, I have his comments if you want to hear him. For me, I think for it to work, you have to have guys who are recognizable representing that brand. I thought one of the smarter things they did in that launching was make him a owner of some sort. Now, we don't know how much he owns, but him being a owner and a face of that, while also simultaneously being the face of the only other major sport in town, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. And this goes back to our conversation the other day of they're going to have to ingratiate themselves with San Diegans. The question is how. This is a good first step. And again, if all goes wrong in 2024, you just buy what's left of the loyal, you absorb them, and then you absorb their fans.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I just can't even help myself. And I don't mean to rain on anybody's parade. I actually find it to be like kind of offensive. What I mean by that is that Manny Machado don't have anything to do with this. Okay. Now look, I'm not saying he shouldn't have an opportunity to invest. I mean, if you look at the guy who's named the CEO of the MLS team here in San Diego, he was the CEO of the LAFC. He went out and recruited celebrities, local dignitaries, brand ambassadors. That's what Manny serves as. And that's cool. That's cool. But the fact that they decided to go get Manny Machado rather than Landon Donovan, I mean, come on, man.
Now, if you're asking me on that roster who I think they should have gotten, I would have said Joe Musgrove. I think that would have landed a little better. But you couldn't have gone wrong with either one. The idea that they should get Landon Donovan, I think that's coming. I think we've got so much road ahead that we actually get there. I think Landon Donovan will be a part of this in some way.
Yeah, and I think it's an easier play. I mean, Landon Donovan's a soccer guy. He's going to want soccer input. He's going to want to have some soccer, investment in what we're talking about, what we're doing, the vision of the team. And I think this is a safe play. And after Machado signed the 10-year deal and got that taken care of quickly, he's now a San Diegan. He feels like he's told the city, I'm here to stay. And so I think, it's popular in the Mexican Latina community. I think that's a nice draw for them as a investable figurehead that won't have anything to do with the soccer operations of it. But, and like Browner said, if Landon Donovan comes along, it'll be at the right time. For the right reasons, and everybody can live happily ever after.
Well, yeah. So Jay, you weren't here on Wednesday, so I know that there's a lot of soccer fans in San Diego that are a little confused here. Let me get this straight. Landon Donovan tried to bring an MLS team to San Diego 6-7 years ago.
Right.
The commissioner of the league was standing on, the USS Midway in downtown San Diego.
I was there.
And everything
with our
was
friend Kevin Faulkner.
Everything was pointing to an MLS team coming to San Diego, and Landon Donovan being the face of that.
Right.
Once that failed, Landon Donovan said, well, hey, I'm still invested in wanting to bring pro soccer to San Diego, so I'm going to bring a USL team. So Landon, as the face and the ownership group and the investors locally, went and brought this USL team, and they built and cultivated a fan base. It's small, but it's extremely loyal. Thus the name, right?
Sure.
The assumption always was that because it was Landon and because they were cultivating the audience locally, that the loyal would become eventually the MLS club. And believe me when I tell you, most people thought that was what was going down. And then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, here comes this Egyptian billionaire that none of us know and he has no connection to the community, which is okay. Who cares? It's business. Well, what he does that's smart is he goes and gets Saquon. I saw Cody Martinez, who's the chairman of Saquon, yesterday at this press conference. I've known Cody for years. Saquon is a local San Diego brand. Saquon is in business with the Padres. That's how you put deals like this together. Hey, we're going to have a piece of this team. We're already in bed with the Padres. We're going to use the Padres to promote the soccer club, and we need to get the face of the Padres, and we'll call him an owner. And so, Jay, I'll tell you, Landon Donovan wasn't invited to the party. Landon Donovan was actually, by the MLS and by the ownership group, he was cut out, intentionally cut out. And I find it, it's great for the city. I don't mean to rain on anybody's parade.
Sure.
We got a nice new college football stadium. It can house pro soccer. I'm all for more sports coming to town. It doesn't mean I'm definitely going to games. It doesn't mean I'm all of a sudden a supporter of the club. I don't know what's going to happen. They may get me and I may become their number one fan. They may say, hey, come to a game. I go to a game. I go, yeah, I didn't really like it that much. Maybe I find myself watching it on television all the damn time. Maybe I love it. Maybe I love it so much I watch it on TV. Hey, can't go out tonight watching the MLS tonight.
Yeah.
But I don't know that for sure. Just because you're putting a Major League Soccer team in San Diego doesn't mean that I'm all of a sudden dropping my pants and showing up.
Oh, what?
That's what the NFL thought everybody was going to do for them.
Drop the pants?
I mean, it's just a figure of speech.
Oh.
I mean, is it? Is that a figure of speech, or I just make that up?
Listen, I've never heard someone say that.
No.
So
yeah, definitely.
No. Anyway.
I mean, I get the backdooring Landon, and I remember when that,
dropping your pants, backdooring Landon. What are we doing?
Come on, J-Lo.
I'm just saying, I mean, as far as you and like you said you don't want to rain on anybody's parade. That's kind of what the whole point I'm making is like at the end of the day, the deal was done. Maybe, Donovan's team, maybe the loyal eventually, like Browner said, things may happen where at the right time, Landon Donovan is maybe brought into the fold. I know that it's probably going to be a big bridge to build. He probably feels very, disenfranchised by this whole.
Well, he feels disrespected mostly by the league.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
How could the commissioner, who knew what I was doing, who knew that I was setting up pro soccer in San Diego, who knew that I brought a USL team here, and I've been in communication with the guy the whole time. How could he not say to this ownership, hey, look, you're a multi-billionaire from Egypt. Great. You don't need Saquon. You don't need their money. No, I don't, but I need their local clout. Well, guess what? Landon Donovan brings you a lot of local clout and an established fan base to build on. And I'll tell you, Browner, I saw some people on Twitter yesterday saying that you don't understand the passion of the soccer fan. I may not understand. Yeah, and I may not understand it either. But there are so many loyal fans of that organization that are mad that this new team did not include the loyal as part of it. And I don't know what Browner said. All these loyal fans are going to jump ship and go right to MLS.
Because they are. Because listen, I understand that people see me as a soccer outsider. 100% get that. And you're correct. I am. But what I'm not an outsider of is rooting in sports. Because I've got a lifetime of experience in it. And I don't care how diehard you are, when a major sport comes to town, the major league version of the sport, you're going to want to do that. When everyone else in town is doing that, and you think the 4,000 people here won't want to join the 30,000 people over here watching a higher version of the game, they're going to, because it's better soccer. And at the end of the day, as a viewer, what do you want at the end of the day? Maximum entertainment. Period. So your loyalty, no pun intended, has nothing to do with whether or not you'll switch. You're switching because it's better soccer.
I think I made the comparison the other day, Jay. If the NHL moved to San Diego, if all of a sudden the Phoenix Coyotes became the San Diego Coyotes and they moved to San Diego and they had a brand new building, wouldn't that really put the San Diego Gulls in an old beat up building? Wouldn't that put them out of business?
Yeah, I mean, probably. It probably would. I would imagine that eventually, maybe not obviously year 1, 2, or 3, but eventually that would take its toll on the Gulls, I believe.
Well, so won't it take its toll on the
It'll
loyal?
Take its toll. In sports, especially with the fan base, yes, it'll be, and that's the other thing with this deal. They're going to have the ability to reach and advertise, and their deal with Saquon and their whole
deal with the Padres
expansion and all of it. They're going to be able to just jam the idea that they're the only game in town down everybody's throat.
Right.
And they have it till 2025 to do it.
Right. But you're so right. Saquon is so powerful in this town. They have so much control over radio airwaves, over television. If you're in media in this town, Saquon Casino is going to say to you, you promote the hell out of our soccer team, or we're not going to spend money with you guys.
It's like a guy that's already been running like 4 laps, right? And then you just get to jump right in ahead of him, and you're a lap ahead, and you're fresh, and you just got to run 5 more laps to finish the race. And this guy,
Well, that's what happened here.
That's exactly what's
Saquon
happening.
and MLS has jumped in where the Loyals already done the heavy lifting.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
You're right. That's a good point. Well, hey, look, we're just getting underway. It's Friday afternoon. I definitely wanted to talk about this story to kick things off. Browner, I know you said you've got Manny Machado from the press conference yesterday. Maybe we'll get to that still to come. On the way, fellas, last night, that Lakers-Nuggets game, I really thought that game one was about, being fresh, conditioned to the altitude, the passion and the energy of the fans, et cetera, et cetera. And that's why the Lakers got blitzed in the early part of that game. Caught their breath, shot the lights out, made a great comeback. I felt like the Lakers were going to win the game last night, and through three quarters, they had the lead. Had the lead after the first, had the lead at half, had the lead after the third quarter. But something happened in that game, and to me, it was all about coaching that changed the fourth quarter. I want to get your opinions on this. Coming right back. It's Friday. We're just underway. This is Kaplan and Crew.
Hi, welcome to OG's.
Touching down this football season at OG's has never looked better. You can now eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards at select OG's locations. You won't miss a live game when you're watching at OG's. We're going all out, all game, all season long.
From New York City comes America's longest running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight is brought to you by OG Sports Brewhouse Pizza, where you can eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards.
All right, great friends. Hey, we welcome you back inside the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. As promised, the head coach of the San Diego State basketball team, I'm wasting no time at all. Coach Brian Dutcher returns to Kaplan and Crew. Coach, how are you today?
Top of the world. I'm throwing out the first pitch tonight, so I'm good.
That is so cool. Have you ever thrown out a first pitch?
No, no, I haven't. I haven't won enough to throw out a first pitch. I guess I finally won enough to get a throw out one.
And have you?
You better get that arm ready there.
Yeah. Have you practiced at all, Coach?
No, I remember when Matt Story used to take Coach Fisher out and they throw some warm ups, but I'm just going to lob it up there. I'm not trying to throw heat or anything.
You do know, though, that everybody's watching. Like, if it's a good one, we're all going to go, wow, great job, Coach. But if it's really bad, I mean, everybody's going to have this video. I mean, no pressure.
No, I saw Pete Kelsey bounce one in this week, so I already know what it is.
Oh, yeah. And you should have seen Browner here down at the Chula Vista Little League this past Saturday. Also couldn't get to the plate.
Maybe I'll just set one on like T-ball. I'll set one on a tee.
Coach, the obvious place to start is huge congratulations to you, your players, the program, San Diego State as an institution, all the players that came before this group that contributed to the growth of the program. Huge congratulations. How different is your life 10 days after the Final Four in the national championship game?
You know, Scott, I'm so used to working that we got back on Tuesday. I was in the office Wednesday morning, and we're recruiting. We're trying to build next year's team. So as much as I enjoyed it, I'm not a guy that ever over celebrates anything, even though it's something to be celebrated. I've got my eyes on next year and trying to put a team together that can be really good again.
Have you had a chance to think at all about, like, standing there on the floor inside a giant football stadium, knowing that you were on the biggest stage in college basketball? And as an assistant, you may have been there before a long time ago, but have you had any chance to just sort of think about what happened in those couple of days in Houston?
I always say, like, I'm a guy that likes to almost sit back and watch everybody enjoy the experience, but I enjoyed it myself too. I told my assistant coaches on that elevated floor, I said, I'll see you guys at halftime. Make some notes. So it's a different experience to be up there and coaching on that stage on the biggest platform, and truly a platform, and just taking the time to look out into the crowd and seeing all the great Aztec fan base there to enjoy it. First time experience for all of us, me as a head coach, San Diego State as a participant in the city of San Diego, and just watch everybody kind of celebrate that moment, but at the same time, trying to figure out how to win games.
Yeah, it was an amazing run. It really was. Coach, I'd love to hear what you were thinking when Butler hit the shot that moved San Diego State from the Final Four to the championship game. Could you just go back to what was going on prior to that? Because everybody talked about there's still a timeout. Will he take it? Jim Nantz made mention on national TV. He doesn't have his shooters on the floor. Could you just go back to that sequence and what you were doing?
Yeah, it was like the possession before. We were down 3 and brought it up the floor, and I took a timeout. And I wanted to set up a play to try to get a 3 out of a sideline out of bounds. And if we didn't have the 3, throw it to Jaden Ledee and let him go one-on-one because he just scored one-on-one. And then we scored that basket. I took another timeout, and I looked at the time difference on the clock, and I felt even if they shot the ball, we'd have enough time to get down the length of the floor. And I told him at that time, we are not taking a timeout. And I said, we don't have shooters on the floor. I have 3 bigs on the floor. So cause a miss, get the rebound, get it to Lamont, make sure they're not doubling back trying to intercept that pass. And then you 3 bigs run to the rim, because if he misses, we'll have 3 bigs in to tip it in. And then Micah Parrish, you find space in case he needs to kick for a 3. And so I kind of had a thought in my mind what I wanted to do. But obviously players make the plays in March. Lamont made a magnificent play. They cut him off. He kind of crossed over, came back, and shot a beautiful pull-up jump shot to make me look good as a coach and us look good as a team.
Coach, what made this team different from the other 2 teams that you got to the Sweet 16? Obviously, you played UConn, you played big teams in those tournaments as well. But what separated this team from advancing? Like when you beat Alabama, and I think a lot of people thought you could beat Alabama, but when you did it, and then you had this crazy game against FAU, what made this team different as opposed to the other ones you've had in the past?
Yeah, this is the greatest team in Aztec history because of how far they went and what they did. I'm not sure it's the best team. So there's a difference. I mean, that Kawhi Leonard team with Malcolm Thomas, Billy White, DJ Gay, that was a team capable of winning a national championship. The X-Thames team with Poe Lee and J.J. O'Brien, Josh Davis, Skylar Spencer, that was a really good team too. But sometimes it's just the path lays out. You win games. And I'm just thinking back, like the other 5 seed was St. Mary's. They played UConn in the second round. What if we're that 5 seed and we play UConn in the second round and get beat? And we're talking about, hey, great, Dutcher got his first tournament win. But it just laid out for us where the path wasn't easy, but we took advantage of the path we had.
Coach, you have had the governor of California tweet about you, the vice president tweet about you, and you've got you guys had the city on fire for the program. How has that changed anything that you're doing going forward, and has it opened the door for the recruiting process to become a little bit bigger and a little bit better?
This is the talk we had back when we had Kawhi Leonard, Malcolm Thomas, Billy White. We won at such a level, they said, well, boy, you're really going to be able to go out and get some players now. We have players that just went to the national championship game. So we'll continue to recruit how we do. Recruit guys with chips on their shoulders that have a lot of potential, that are about the right things. And I like the way we've recruited over the years. So we'll continue to do what we do. Maybe it'd put us in front of a different kid or two. But for the most part, we've got good enough players in this program to win in any conference and at any level.
Talking to Coach Brian Dutcher this afternoon. It's Kaplan and Crew, and Coach Dutcher is with us. We're still talking about this San Diego State run. And, Coach, I was telling the guys, we're not going to stop. You know, I want to keep talking to these kids. I want them to be known commodities in this town. We know their names, want to know their stories, want to know more about these guys. Because like you said, by virtue of what they accomplish, it's the greatest San Diego State basketball team ever. It doesn't necessarily mean it was the most talented or the best, but I want to keep going with these guys because they really did something special. And I just got to say that this Final Four run, it really entranced the whole city was into it. Like I've never seen anything like it before. And when Butler hit that shot, Coach, that is like one of the top 5 moments in the history of San Diego sports. Does everybody have a grasp on that quite yet?
No, and they asked me at the time how big Butler's shot was. I said, if we win the whole thing, they'll remember it nationally forever, but it'll never be forgotten in San Diego. So that shot will live in San Diego for as long as San Diego State is playing basketball and the city embraces college basketball. So it was an incredible moment. Nationally, it'll be remembered, but not like it would have if we won the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. One of the best things is there's a picture of Lamont Butler and he's letting go of the ball. And for us, just being a little selfish, our man Alex here is standing in the background with his arms raised before the ball has even gone through the net. It was awesome.
I knew it was going in, Coach. Never had a doubt in my mind. I don't know about you, but I was confident from the stands.
Well, I'm thinking, is there time left on the clock? What do I have to do? I mean, I put both arms up, but then I was like, what if they put 0.2 of a second on the clock? So I'm still in coach mode. And the same thing can happen against UConn. To go to the Final Four, we really didn't get to celebrate. It's like they're going to put time on the clock. I'm convinced of it. So we have no timeouts. If it's their ball, here's what we're going to do to keep Kalkbrenner from throwing to the rim and getting a lob to tip in to beat us. If it's our ball, we want to throw deep. So all we have to do is touch it. And then the refs come over and say, no more time. So it's like a anticlimactic celebration to go to the Final Four. And same thing with Florida Atlantic. It's like, I'm convinced they're going to put time on the clock. They always do. And so when that moment happened, Dusty May was trying to shake my hand before the refs ruled it good. I said, Dusty, I'm not that guy. I want to make sure they count it before, we shake hands and we start celebrating.
Coach, I thought the most impactful thing throughout the tournament was I saw your team's true identity come to the surface. The amount of defense, the 40 minutes of defense from end to end that your team was able to play throughout each game, you could see it was frustrating these other teams you guys were playing because they were used to guys playing like that maybe a couple minutes a game, maybe a half. But when you guys were pressuring guys like that and defending like that the entire time, I think you guys wore a lot of people down. Were you able to get the guys to see that through film study? And did they pick up on it? Or was this just something that all year you guys were doing?
It's just our culture. Like when we do a shooting drill early in the year, like we want to make 120 in 2 minutes or whatever that is. And if we don't make it, a lot of coaches say, okay, on the line, down and back. And I'll say, okay, on the line, we're going to do some defensive slides. We're going to do shuffles. We're going to do this and that. Because I tell them there's games where as open as we are, the ball's not going to go in. How are we going to win those games? When we're wide open, it's a great shot. It doesn't go in. Those are the games we're going to win with our defense. So it's just a mindset. It's a culture that we're going to be defense first. And as open as we are, sometimes the ball does not go in. And we're one of a handful of teams that are going to win games when the ball doesn't go in.
See, going into this tournament, Coach, and you know this well, but the country learned about it. Going into the tournament, you were 0-3 in the NCAA tournament as a head coach at San Diego State. Now you're 5-4.
Going over 500, that's not very good.
Well, hey, it's better than being under 500. It's better than being 0-3. That all happened in one tournament. And what I thought was really interesting is how we have gotten the chance to see the development of the program. For a lot of America, people are like, wow, San Diego State. And then what they start to do is they say this, Brian Dutcher, one of the top college basketball coaches in the country. Like they start to talk about you differently. Are you a much better coach at 5-4 in the NCAA tournament than you were when you were an 0-3 record?
Well, hopefully I'll get paid like a better coach. But
coach
I've always been. Richard, our sports information director, I asked Richard because I didn't know. I said, how many NCAA tournament games have I been on the bench? Not head coach, been on the bench. I think it was like 56 NCAA tournament games. So I just say now I'm 63. I know a lot more at 63 than I knew at 53, than I knew at 43, than I knew at 33. Even though at that time I thought I knew everything. So if you can survive in this business, those experiences pay off. And so I chose my path wisely. I knew I wanted to retire as a coach. Sometimes you think you're going to be the coach that takes a lesser school and resurrects it. And in 3 years, you're out of work and you can't find a job. So I thank Coach Fisher for keeping me along for that ride for so long. And, I was patient until I got the job I wanted, which was this one.
Yeah. I want to ask a very open-ended question to you, Coach. And it maybe has to do with pay, maybe has to do with assistants, maybe has to do with conference. What is the future of this program now? Obviously the rumors of Pac-12, Big 12 realignment. Assistant coaches could get poached when you make a national championship run. We all know which players are coming and which players are leaving. What is the future of this program?
You know, we've been in the Mountain West my whole time here, and I always say we're a high major program in a non-Power 5 conference. I'm trying to paint us like Gonzaga. Gonzaga's in the WCC, but they're looked at as a high major program. I think the West Coast always believed that San Diego State plays high major basketball, but now the nation's kind of been made aware of that. So I think it's upped our branding in the nation. West Coast, it's always been good. So if we make a conference move, you know, I'm not stressed over it. I know we're a good enough program to survive wherever we end up. And whether it's in the Mountain West, we'll continue to have a high major program in the Mountain West. If we're in the Pac-12 or Big 12, our intention is just to compete at the highest level in those conferences. So those all happen at a level beyond me. Whatever decisions are made by John David Wicker and President De La Torre, you know, I'm in support of, and wherever we end up, whether it's staying here or moving on, we'll be ready for that challenge.
Coach, you guys have you spoke about this actually when the interview first began about getting back to the business of coaching. You were already recruiting again. With the transfer portal being such a vital process to San Diego State before it became a national thing, before guys started talking about all this talks about transfer portal, you guys were already locked in recruiting that way, using transfers to build the program. Now that everybody is such a focal point of the transfer portal, has it changed the way that you guys operate within it?
It's all NIL. You know, NIL is everything in the portal right now. And, you know, some of these players are being offered $260,000. If you're a big center, you might get $1 million, like a Dickinson or a kid at Kentucky. And so there's a lot of money being thrown around in the portal. And so we have to navigate that. We're not throwing that money away. We're not paying like that.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Dutcher, congratulations to you, to your family, to the program, to the players, et cetera. Really amazing job. We really appreciate you always. And thanks for doing this with us today. And by the way, good luck with your first pitch tonight at the Padres game.
Well, the only way you'll see it is if I throw it in the dirt.
Kind of rooting for that, just like a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I knew if anybody would be, it'd be you.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, and congrats.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight is brought to you by OG Sports Brewhouse Pizza, where you can eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Hi, welcome to OG's.
Touching down this football season at OG's has never looked better. You can now eat pizza, drink beer, and earn rewards at select OG's locations. You won't miss a live game when you're watching at OG's. We're going all out, all game, all season long.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
Hey, everybody, what's happening? It's Friday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. However, there is no Grande today. In for Grande, comedian Jason Lawhead is in the house. Hey, Jay Law, tell me, this upcoming Wednesday.
Yeah.
Don't you have a show?
I do. It's at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, 8 p.m. Wednesday the 24th. So the Brown Man's coming doing a set. Yeah, only $10. Tickets are on sale at the Comedy Store website. You could get them probably if you walk up that night, I'm sure. So love to have you out. Love to have anybody out.
Brown, you're doing a warm-up set?
I am.
So,
different
Jay,
approach.
How's the show going then, Jay? Tell me how the show goes down. 8 o'clock, you say it starts. Then what happens?
So then maybe because it's scheduled for game 5, 5:30, maybe fashionably late a little bit to start, just to let people see the end of the game from wherever they're coming from, get to the show in case. which I'd like to see as well. So, and then, yeah, I have my buddy Ryan Dalton hosting. I got my buddy Colton Harpy going on, and then Browner's going to go on and do that set that we talked about. Like I said, after the 7 mile, I was like, just get a tight 8, 9, 10, get a tight 8. If it goes 10, it goes 10, but just that's what you should plan on. Come out with that. And you're in a real comedy club, authentic kind of crowd that you can kind of feel. And so, yeah, and then I'm going to go up and headline and close her down.
Okay, so Wednesday night, 8:00, Comedy Store La Jolla, Browner performing. Anybody who was at the 7 Mile show, I'd be curious if you wanted to come and see if Browner can recover. Okay.
I wouldn't. Wait. I wouldn't say recover again. I thought I did bad. People had a great time. I was judging myself extremely harshly because of what I feel like I need to be able, where I need to make it to. This is a step in what I need to make it to. So I wouldn't say I per se bombed, because people were entertained. It's just that I did not do what my standard of what I thought I should have done.
And as your manager, okay, what are you laughing at? What are you laughing
I saw something. I was something funny behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. Because make no mistake, my man. Okay, we will eventually take this act on the road, and I am running this whole operation. Okay, I have found this platform for you. I have encouraged you. I have created shows for you. I am on this train, buddy.
I see. I see.
But here's the thing: as your self-proclaimed manager, how about that?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, all right. I know that you were able to control the room and you were still able to entertain people. But I also knew right away that everything you'd rehearsed had gone right out of your head. I want to see what happens when you actually give us the stuff that you've written, your written material, homeboy.
Right. True.
You feel me?
Fair. Honest.
So I'm inviting everybody who is at the 7 Mile Casino Comedy Show to join us this Wednesday for the return of the Brown Man to the stage at the Comedy Store at La Jolla. Let's see if Browner can actually pull off the stuff that he's worked on and then hand off to a pro.
The goal is tight. Just trying to be as tight as you can be. And that's just the one thing. That's what you were upset about deep down. Right. And what the feeling is as, you hear in the business, you hear, man, just go out and do a tight 10, dude. And that means go out and just 10, pop it, just give it to them. Yeah, and so that's the goal. The goal is to make the tight. The goal is to the goal is to get together and put together and deliver the tightest 8, because you can't get to 20 or 25 or 30 until you get these tight chunks of these bits.
Right. So Wednesday night, 8:00, Browner will be on the stage at the Comedy Store La Jolla. Lawhead takes the stage to close it down, to headline the whole thing. Tickets are only $10, 2-drink minimum. We'll see you guys all there, because I know I will be there to support. However, I will just tell you guys, I saw somebody yesterday sent me a receipt that they bought 4 tickets to this show on Wednesday night, and he's coming.
Nice.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
All 4.
That's right.
The same 4?
No. My boy Tommy, he got a date. And he's coming. He got a 4-pack of people he's bringing to this show.
Oh, boy.
And he said
nice
that down at 7 Mile Casino, he apologized to me for being so well behaved. This show, this could turn into Vegas all over again, as far as I'm concerned.
I dare him to with Browner on the show. That's a whole different. That's a whole different person to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy. I'm a sweetheart.
I'm not.
I'm a sweetheart.
I am not the person you want to do that with. No.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. It is gonna be a lot of fun. And
there might not even be a game 5 with the way things are going. So it's scheduled for game 5. You might not even have to worry about it.
Right. And Jay, one last little side note to this show, and then we'll get to game 5. There's one alteration to the schedule of the show. I don't know if anybody told you about this or not, but Browner here committed to allowing Felix Taverna aka the Kitty Cat, 10 minutes of stage time that night down at the comedy. That's what Browner told him. It's true.
Okay, first, listen, why would you lie like that?
It's not a lie. Bro, okay, it's on video.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Because this is
I mean, I like Felix, but
hold on. Jason, let me break it down to him in this way. Okay. How can I give somebody 10 minutes when I got 8?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying Kitty Cat asked for 10.
No. Kitty Cat is asked me for nothing.
Jay, you're not giving Kitty Cat 10?
Well, he didn't ask me.
Oh, so you got to ask you. We got to go through the clause.
Well, yeah, it's my show.
The answer is no.
I mean, it's not. It's my show. I like Felix, but like this just not
happening.
Not through this channel. Not this way. Not on this show.
No, not happening. Okay.
No, I mean it's just not gonna.
He thought Browner was the man. He asked Browner.
He didn't listen. I told him no.
Yeah.
Correction. I'm lying. I told him hell no. So again, I'm not the person to ask these questions because I'm not nice about it.
No.
Jason will give you a very nice.
I'll say no, but I'll be nice.
You know? I will not.
I'm a sweetheart.
I will not.
Yeah, you are a sweetheart. All right, listen. This segment of Kaplan and Crew is being presented by our. I know you will. This segment is being brought to our friends at Medcline. Medcline.com/great friends. In fact, I want to tell you guys, I got this amazing, incredible text message. Gosh, I hope it wasn't a text. It was like a DM on Instagram or something. And one of our listeners, I'm going to give him a shout out. His name is Ryan Trammell. Ryan sends me this message and he says, okay, Scott, let's talk about Medcline. And then in all caps, game changer. And he said he suffers from, I don't know how to pronounce it, or it sounds like some kind of an arthritis issue from a bad mountain biking accident a few years ago. He said, every morning I wake up with soreness and dull pain in my sternum, and it radiates to the center of my back in between my shoulder blades, and now my lower back is constantly stiff. Medcline has changed that. This is what Ryan is saying. I'm sleeping deeper, and he says vivid dreams, and I'm waking up pain-free. There is definitely a learning curve, Ryan says. It's true, because it's kind of like this big triangular thing, and then you can either sleep on your back and you're at an incline decline, or if you do what me and Browner do, not that we do it together, but we both put our arm through the little shoulder hole to take the pressure off our shoulder. Anyway, Ryan says there's a learning curve, and I don't know how it's going to feel in the hot months because it's a big piece. He says, but it has exceeded all my expectations. Thanks, Cap. This is from Ryan Trammell. Ladies and gentlemen, great friends, chatlins, can I give you a better endorsement than a guy who says game changer, changed his life? 20% off medcline.com/great friends. This was a 60-day deal that Medcline did with the show. And their CEO, Rick Slider, said to me, let's extend another 45. Let's see what happens because we're doing well. So thank you to those of you that are buying. And I hope you're getting the results that Ryan is. Okay. Will there be a game 5? Interesting question. Let me start there. Guys, are the Lakers going to get swept? They're down 0-2. Is that going to happen? Come on. Lakers aren't getting swept. They're unbeaten at home, just like Denver was unbeaten at home. Denver did what they did. They continued to win games at home. Can the Lakers not come back to LA and win the next 2 games at home?
I don't. Here's the thing. The Lakers lost the shootout, and then the following game lost the dogfight. What other ways can you describe a basketball game? Because the Nuggets appear to be better. I don't think you're going to get a better game from Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura in combination. I just don't think you are. You lost that game. You got a 41-point game from AD. You lost that game. I guess, like I said, the only thing you got left in the chamber now is LeBron's 40-point game. And watching him move, that might not be coming. It just might not be in the cards. So do I think the Lakers will get swept? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if they did, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did, by the way you look at what's kind of laid down. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but they've not been down in a series yet. they jumped out 1-0 in both of the last two and were up 2-1 and then went on to win the series pretty easily. Here they're down 2-0, and they also were benefited with being in such physical mismatches in the first two series. With Steven Adams out, Memphis didn't have a chance. And then, they are just so bigger, longer and wider than Golden State. And just always in physical mismatches and pick and rolls and in help defense and in rotation. They're just bigger and they cover more ground and they get more body on you. Well, that's not happening in this series. So like Browner said, even in the shootout style, they score 126 points, but for a while, they were scoring. They picked up the pace in the second half, but for a while, for too long, actually, it was tit for tat. They were just scoring against Denver scoring. It was 90-70, and then they had to just, climb uphill as fast as they could while Denver started playing against the clock, which every team does. And they slow possessions down to try to get stuff late in the shot clock and then eventually, they threw them little late punches, but they needed all of that to kind of climb a hill to come back. Last night, they get into a pace that is, beneficial, I think, for them, and they lose in a low 100 scoring game, and.
This little giggle before you're about to say something.
I just think
like
Denver's
really bad.
Denver. This didn't happen overnight. Denver's really good. They got the best player in the series, as great as LeBron has been and is and still can be. Look, the best current player in this series is in Denver, and they've got, because of where he is playing, at what position he plays at, and what he fills. They've got the next best off-the-ball guard in the series, which is Jamal Murray. And they've got the better coach. They're really good. Denver's really good, and it wouldn't surprise me with LA down 2-0, the way they're down and the way they've been up in this playoffs and the way they've benefited from physical mismatches and the way they've known that when they've stood out on the floor. And now that
what if I told you, Jason, Scott, what if I told y'all the Nuggets had the best two players on the court? If we're lining them up, the Nuggets have the best two players. Would you really argue that? Because Jamal Murray, after last night, Jamal Murray has played better in the series, the two games, than Anthony Davis has.
I'm not going to call Jamal Murray a better player than LeBron James or Anthony Davis, but what he does, where he's at playing off of the best player, where Jokic is on the floor as the best player, Jamal Murray is the best next off the ball player for value. I will say that. Value-wise, yes, they probably have the two best players in the series when you talk about what you get in the value of where you're getting them and what you need. Yes.
All right. Well, let me say a couple things to you guys. Number one, in my opinion, you just said it really well, Jay. I don't know how to quantify it exactly, but last night there's a moment in that game where Michael Malone, the coach of the Nuggets, to me changed the game by being a great coach, not even with strategy, just more with believing in a player. Do you guys remember the time in the game? There's a timeout and Malone's got the Nuggets and they're all sitting like not super close together. They're all like spaced out, a seat in between them. And he's looking over at this side and he's saying something. And he looks over at this side and he sees Murray and he calls him out by name. He goes, Jamal, keep shooting. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you're missing. Mm-hmm. If you guys, as former basketball players, and I know for me as a former football player, when a coach instilled confidence in me, God, it made me feel so much better about myself, especially when I was down. Jamal Murray was 5 for 17 from the field. Mm. Malone looks at him and says, Jamal, keep shooting. I don't care if you miss. I don't want the coach mad. I don't want him yelling at me. I don't want him giving me a whole hard time. But if you don't care that I'm missing and I can keep shooting, okay, coach, I will. You've just instilled a lot of confidence in me. And then Murray in the fourth quarter goes crazy. And by the way,
he almost outscored the Lakers by himself.
Well,
it was 24 Lakers, 23 Murray in the fourth quarter.
And he scored 37 points compared to LeBron and AD's combined 40. And he was hitting these threes over AD, over LeBron.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But here's the thing. As much as Jamal Murray was amazing, and he was, can we also look at LeBron and AD in particular, just those two for now? How bad were they? In other words, LeBron cannot hit a three. And as much as I think you got to live and die with LeBron, you just got to live with that. But he's been so bad on three. And he was like 0 for 5 at that point in the fourth quarter. And now he's looking over at Reeves, and Reeves is becoming the go-to guy, which if Austin Reeves is a go-to guy rather than a contributor, you got some problems. But moreover, Anthony Davis hits a three from the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Now LeBron is giving up the ball to AD to take 3 shots. Why is he shooting the ball from 3-point range? Because he made one by chance? Dude, why is Anthony Davis taking late 3-point shots in that game?
I can tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
Tapped out.
Mm-hmm.
He tapped out. The physicality that Jokic is taking to him tapped out. This is why Anthony Davis did so well with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard loved that kind of basketball. Dwight Howard loves the bumping and the grinding against Jokic. And he don't want to do that for the whole game. You now see Anthony Davis had enough. He had tapped out. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm getting beat up. This guy's killing me. I'm going to go stand here in the corner. I'm going to shoot some threes. Because this me dipping my shoulder into him and him not moving, that ain't working for me. I can't go off the dribble because it ain't enough space. I got nothing. So I'm going to shoot this three. And I'm going to shoot another three.
What do you think,
and I'm going to shoot another three.
He's right. And you know what's funny is now that you look down at this and you look at how they coasted in the first 2 rounds because they didn't need anything to supply him with any. I mean, Davis had a cakewalk and again, when you talk about, size in the first 2. And he's right. And now you're going to look, you could look back right now. And if you're a Laker, if you really want to dissect all these great moves they've made, and they made some great moves to get this team to where they're at right now. But now you're sitting here going, why do we have Tristan Thompson? Like, why is this roster spot that could be from somebody that was, if it wasn't Dwight Howard, it could have been
like
someone like Dwight Howard, where you could go look down and inside the bench and go, guess what? AD needs some help. He needs some rest, and he needs somebody to go in there, and we can go throw a snowplow at Jokic or a snowplow at one of these other guys. And when Jeff Green comes off the bench and he's pushing bodies around and just slapping rebounds back out and just keeping balls live when he's out there on those minutes and he's hard charging to the basket, we've got somebody else to go step in there and stick his chest out and throw an elbow and pick up 3 or 4 or 5 fouls in 18, 19, 20 minutes, whatever it is. But now you're sitting there and you're going, we signed a towel waiver just because he's LeBron's friend.
Right. Well, that's
and this is how we might go down in flames. We might go down in flames because we got nobody to look down. Who are we gonna put on Jokic?
Right.
Troy Brown?
Yeah.
Wayne Gabriel?
I mean, but who was out there and available? And by the way, they went and they got Mo Bamba.
They had Mo Bamba, but he's not on the roster.
Right. Where is Dwight Howard? I'm just like, seriously,
he's
I don't even remember.
Beijing.
Taiwan. Yeah.
Come on, for real?
Taiwan somewhere.
Yeah.
For real?
He's Taiwaning one on right now. Is what he's doing.
When Dwight Howard has been made a joke of so much, he doesn't care anymore. If you get eliminated in the playoffs, he goes on Instagram. He puts your face on his team's jersey. It says, "Come on over to Taiwan."
Yeah.
Did it to Doc Rivers. Did it to KD. Did it to Chris Paul. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Like, y'all been making fun of me. I'm finna make fun of y'all.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, look, so the Lakers now down 0-2. Come back Saturday. I'm going to be real curious to see when they get back down to their building, their fans, to sea level, if Anthony Davis or LeBron James can pick it up. Because honestly, like Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves, that combination outscored the combination of LeBron and AD last night. We got plenty more to get to. Stick around. I want to talk about the Padres hosting the Red Sox in town this weekend. Hang with us. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.